What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly from last night's edition of Friday Night Smackdown, plus the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including top WWE star undergoes major surgery, Kurt Angle returning to WWE, Becky Lynch in Marvel, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also, be sure to check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts, where I just put exclusive shorts. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, a hot opener. The Smackdown kicked off with a match between Sami Zayn and Sheamus, and it was exactly what you expect from these two talented stars. They work together insanely well, and it's evident that there is a ton of chemistry there. Zayn got the win thanks to interference by Jey Uso, but one of the more telling things about the match was that the crowd were 100% behind Zayn, so it looks like it's only a matter of time before WWE pulled a trigger and turned Zayn babyface. Number 2, Rumble build begins. And with no premium live event before the Royal Rumble, WWE have decided to commence the build to the highly anticipated event. Last night on Smackdown, Kofi Kingston would declare that he would be entering the Rumble match, and WWE now have 8 solid weeks to build to the event, and hopefully create some compelling stories heading into the show. Speaking of Kingston, he also wrestled on Smackdown last night in a fantastic match against Gunther. WWE's strong presentation of Gunther continued as he picked up the win, but the match highlighted that Kingston still has a ton to offer as a solo star. Number 3, Tegan Nox returns. And one of the highlights of Smackdown last night was the return of Tegan Nox. Nox returned in a segment to save Liv Morgan from a beatdown from Damage Control. The return of Nox has been rumoured for some time now, and it's great to see one of Triple H's favourite female talents finally back in WWE. And a phenomenal main event. The main event of the show saw Ricochet defeat Santos Escobar in the finals of the WWE World Cup. The match was highly praised by fans on social media and without a doubt earned its spot in the main event. Ricochet and Escobar had excellent chemistry, and a featured feud between the two on WWE television would be welcomed. Ricochet now becomes the default number 1 contender for Gunther's Intercontinental title, so another showdown between these two talents is on the horizon. The World Cup tournament must be considered a success for WWE. It was mostly well received, and it was great that the WWE put some much needed focus on the Intercontinental title. But that was good. What about the bad? As number 1, direction of the SmackDown Women's Division. The direction of the SmackDown Women's Division still feels flat and disconnected. Shayna Baszler wrestled Emma last night on the show, and the crowd just weren't interested. The post-match angles saw run-ins from the likes of Shotzi and Raquel Rodriguez, but there's not a genuinely compelling story on the show when it comes to the women. They also aired a vignette promoting the return of Lacey Evans, who's reverting to her original NXT persona. Whilst the character change is encouraged, it's questioned how much Evans will truly help the division. Hopefully the reintroduction of Tegan Nox to the brand will bring in some much needed life to the stagnant division. And nothing on last night's show fortunately falls into the downright ugly category, as the show was an all-round good time. The highlight was without a doubt the main event between Ricochet and Santos Escobar, and the return of Tegan Nox to WWE television. What do you guys think of SmackDown last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at a WWE star undergoes major surgery. Our top story today shares some frightening news related to Robert Roode's injury. Last night it was revealed that Roode had undergone neck fusion surgery. Roode would share this news with fans on his Instagram page, as a former NXT champion would write, "Big thank you to Dr. Cordova and his amazing staff at Andrews Sports Medicine and St. Vincent's Hospital in Birmingham, Alabama. C5/6 fusion is complete. Now work begins, recovery and rehabilitation. Looking forward to the challenge." It goes without saying that this is a rather drastic surgery for a wrestler to undertake, and hopefully Roode can recover and return to the squared circle. It was reported last month that Roode had been given the go-ahead to return to the ring, but this is clearly not the case, and Roode's injury was worse than initially expected. Roode has been out of action since June of this year, and it was rumoured that a creative vision was being set for his in-ring return. Roode was one of the top guys in NXT when Triple H ran the brand, and fans were curious to see how Roode would be presented once again being under the creative direction of Triple H. We here at Wrestlelamia wish Roode a speedy recovery, and we can't wait to see him back in the ring when the time comes. Next up, Becky Lynch in Marvel. It's been an internet rumour for years now that Becky Lynch filmed a secret scene for a Marvel movie. Well, according to a new report published by Fightful Select, these rumours have been confirmed. Fightful Select claims that Lynch filmed a scene for the Marvel movie Eternals. The report indicated that the scene was supposed to act as a post-credit scene, but the scene was described as too depressing and was ultimately scrapped. The internals received mixed reviews from fans and critics, so it may have been in Lynch's best interest if she wasn't connected to the infamous film. Marvel appears to be moving ahead with the Eternals 2 movie, but it's unknown if Lynch will be involved in the future project. Next up, Kurt Angle's WWE return announced. Last night on Smackdown, WWE announced that Kurt Angle will be returning next week on the show. WWE are set to host a birthday celebration for Angle, who turns 54 next Friday. It'll be interesting to see how Angle is used on SmackDown next week, as there are substantial rumors of Angle wanting to wrestle again, and his return to WWE television could be the start of Angle stepping back into the ring for one more run. Fans on social media are speculating in relation to what Angle's birthday celebration could involve, and the common consensus at this stage is that Angle is going to be laid out by another wrestler. Next up, Randy Orton to return better than ever. There's been serious concerns surrounding the in-ring future of WWE legend Randy Orton. Orton injured his back a number of months ago and recently had a fusion back surgery to help relieve him of his extensive pain. Thankfully, it looks like Orton is on the mend. Orton's father, Bob Orton Jr., revealed this past week that Orton will be back before fans know it. Now, Orton's longtime friend Ric Flair has offered an update on Orton's health. Discussing Orton on his To Be The Man podcast, Flair revealed, "I talk to him all the time. Yeah, I asked him and talked about his surgery because I didn't think he wanted me to share, but yeah, he'll be back better than ever. There's a look of a great wrestler, look at him. He just looks good. I mean, he carries himself well. I think him and Roman would be huge. I think him and Cody would be huge. There's some really big matches." Now, we still don't know the timetable for Orton's return, but a Royal Rumble comeback is currently being rumoured on social media. And finally, WWE Scrap PPV Bonuses. Our final story today looks at a major change implemented across WWE. It's been a tradition in WWE that when a wrestler works a premium live event, they receive a bonus. Pay-per-view bonuses are one of the more lucrative benefits that come along with being a WWE star, but in recent months, this has appeared to have changed. According to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE have scrapped pay-per-view bonuses, meaning that talent will only get what their contract stipulates. However, Meltzer does add that certain talents, for instance Roman Reigns, will still be eligible for pay-per-view bonus pay packet. When you're in WWE now, basically you're making a signed contract for $1 million, just say. You're making $1 million. That's not a Saudi bonus, it's not a pay-per-view bonus. There might be if you're Roman Reigns, the super merch sale guys probably would get more, but for most of the guys that's not the case. Most people are making it their contract says right now. Now, it's unclear how this impacted morale backstage in WWE. Pay-per-view bonuses are a key element in keeping talent motivated, and there's now virtually no financial incentive on being on a pay-per-view card. Meltzer didn't state whether this blanket ruling relates to WrestleMania or not, as WrestleMania is traditionally one of the biggest paydays of a WWE calendar, and talent not being compensated for working the biggest show of the year may lead to one or more disgruntled wrestlers in the locker room. What do you guys make of this ruling though? Is it fair that talent aren't being paid a bonus for working pay-per-view events? Let us know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.